Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I wasn't for sure. I was torn between doing a video and not doing a video, or 3 days down the road doing a video, but here I am doing the video. Paying my respects and tribute to one of the greatest guitar players in rock and roll music. Folks, I just found out through my daughter, who came and told me after I was sharing with my wife, hey, did you know that Ace Frehley is in the hospital? Well, my daughter, not more than a few seconds, came back from her room and said, hey, Dad, did you hear about Ace Frehley? He passed away. And I was like, no, I could not believe it. Yeah, it hit hard. He is one of the artists that inspired me to pick up and play the electric guitar, as well as other of my favorite guitar players. But, you know, I couldn't believe it. I don't know what else to really say other than I appreciate and thank him for his sharing his talents and making all these great records and recordings, regardless of what people think about them or whatever. I really don't care. I've always been a fan of Ace and will always be a fan of Ace. And the first time that I remember hearing Ace Frehley's guitar work was on the album Destroyer. And I remember going to school, an elementary school in Houston, Texas, and one of my friends invited me over to his house to, hang out and play basketball. And he was sharing music, and he pulled out this double live record, which is Kiss Alive. And I was like, man, who are these cats on the cover? They're really bringing it. And he played me the whole album. I didn't want to leave. I heard the whole album and I was blown away. And I really, that drew me into being a fan and wanting to collect their music. Then after that, he let me borrow his Destroyer album. And I listened to that for quite a while. Of course, I had to take it back. Didn't really want to, but I had to. But then eventually later on down the road, I got me a copy of Destroyer. And what I will say, that's my favorite period of Kiss, is the albums Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over You, Love Gun, and Kiss Alive 2. Now, in my collection, I don't have a lot of things. I am missing some Kiss music and some Ace Frehley recordings, but I'm sure that's going to change here because I want to hear more of his music. But I'll never forget, now this is not that copy, but my grandparents, I told them that when I was young that the Kiss is releasing solo albums. And I remember being in San Antonio, Texas at a store and seeing them displayed and asking my grandmother, could she buy me Ace Frehley's solo album? Because I had just heard his song New York Groove was getting a lot of airplay. And I was like, I got to get that album. And she bought it. And what was real cool is that, back then bands like Kiss and other bands, I'm sure can't think of any, but what was really cool about their records is there was something neat inside, a poster, postcards, posters, sometimes two posters, all kinds of cool stuff. And I remember getting that record, Ace Frehley solo album, excuse me. Hopefully I don't lose my voice. I've been kind of sick here lately. And getting that home and just being blown away about his solo album was so energetic. That guitar sound of his, I mean, it was just churning song after song. I mean, it was like a record that I didn't stop playing for a long, long time, over and over. In fact, I pulled out some of my Kiss and Ace Frehley stuff to show here, but I even have it on a CD as well. Rest in peace, Ace Frehley. Prayers to your family and friends. One, like I mentioned already, said one of my favorite guitar players. But I just thought that this album had a lot of hard rocking metal impact on these songs. That, I mean, Rip It Out, Speeding Back to My Baby, Snowblind. I love the acoustic. That's one thing I love, that Ace really incorporated some acoustic guitars, and you really hear it on the track What's on Your Mind, which is knocks my socks off. And the instrumental, I love the instrumental Fractured Mirror. Later on, there's a second part on one of his earlier solo albums that he made, but I'll pull that out, and I'm not going to ever lose that memory about the time I got Ace Frehley's solo album. Now, I did see him when they came to Texas, and it was around the time of the Cycle Circus. I did see that show. It was a great lineup. It was Skid Row, Ted Nugent, and Kiss, and was a really great show. I mean, I was blown away. My brother was with me, and he was blown away by that show too. Now, I was just showing my wife a while ago, and let me grab that real quick, because this was the second time I saw him with Def Leppard, and I forgot the name of the other group that opened it up, the show. But she bought me this program, Kiss, on the 40th anniversary tour. And I was just looking in here at these early pictures of Ace. He looked like a young kid, you know, from, I believe, from New York, but he had that New York look and attitude, and ready to back up what he's saying on his electric guitar. What other better way to do it, right? It's to rock out. But there he is. There's another picture of him there, right there. This thing is really big. It was really worth the money to get this. I'm really good. But here's right here. This is one of my favorite pictures in it, right there, of Ace, real young, right there. Must have been like under at least 20 years old. And here's another one to the Spaceman. Man, it's a shocker. It is. It's like, you know, but we have the music, and the music will help. His music and Kiss's music that he recorded with them, it's going to help us to move on and to cherish what he did in rock and roll, in the history of rock and roll, you know. Like I was mentioning Love Gun. Here's my deluxe edition of Love Gun, which I love, the second disc with demos and interview and some live tracks. That's another song that really spotlights his guitar talent. It shocked me, that those lead parts, and oh man, it doesn't get any better than that. When I heard that song, I was blown away by, well, I always liked the way he sung. I don't have a problem. Whatever you want to say, character singing, talking, singing, whatever. I always liked his vocal. And, but to hear Shock Me, and then on Kiss Alive 2, it's just really, really incredible. And I got another thing to show here, maybe a couple of other things. I got the Ace Frehley Abnormally or something like that. This is really, really good. I love this. Thanks, Ace, for making all these great records, man. These records, this one's produced by him. And he says, to family, my friends, and the fans. And then there's, of course, Space Invader, which I love this album too. I got that off of Amazon. But, you know, There he is, the Spaceman. He's going to live forever in my heart and all Kiss fans and Ace Frehley fans out there. Well, folks, I wish you well, and this is just I just wanted to come on here and do this video and honor Ace Frehley. I mean, he's one of the best, one of the greats. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.